All of Marcus is what I can describe as control response. Analysts computer screens, which are obviously come back on, shut off. It's extremely complicated computer screens for the obviously a security system. Reminds me of a transfer which is just about space travel. So, Marcus is running from one screen to another, apparently looking for some pertinent bit of information. Where's the first aid kit? I snap at him. Marcus stops in his tracks as if he was around the whole reason why he's down here. Oh yeah, he says, rushing to the left side of the room. There, he hunkers down by an open panel on the wall. I assume it's an emergency vault from where he got the rifle. To the open vault. Spear over Marcus' shoulder into the vault. He's open just much larger than it looks from the outside. It's partially filled with file folders marked classified, a few rounds of ammo for the rifle, a peculiar plastic kit filled with syringes, and a locked black box. Marcus digs around one of the folders, slips open for a split second, it's open, to see a scanned document and a color photo. The photo shows a male corpse with his guts on the outside of his body, so it has been turned inside out. Also, massive swelling in his head. It's like his skull is about to explode. Marcus slaps the folder closed, and then I turn my attention to one of the syringes. It's filled with a violet-colored fluid that, rather pretty in color, looks deadly. Marcus finally pulls out the first aid kit and turns around. I look back to motion Dennis over. He's paler than ever. Come on, I tell him, but he's not moving from the place on the floor where he sits against the wall. I slide the first aid kit over to him and go scrambling to his side. During the struggle for the rifle upstairs and arriving in this room, he's faded fast. Struggle to lift his shirt up, and then over his shoulders is the dried blood holds it in place. The mere act causes him to grimace. This might hurt a little. I tell Dennis. He only nods. He doesn't seem to care. I don't think the band-aid rule applies. Gently. I decide to pull out Dennis' shirt gently. I let the shirt off gently and it makes a sucking sound. So much blood that the moisture tries to keep the shirt pulled to him. Dennis lets out a little moan, but seems to relax in spite of his injuries. With the shirt fully removed, the extent of his injuries becomes more clear. His wound is more visible now, although it's partially hidden by the blood that has started to clot around it. My medical knowledge is slim, basically just a bunch of basics on it in Boy Scouts. I look over to Marcus Oakley and ask, "You have any training?" Sierra says, "Sorry. Just as well, I guess. You're far too concerned with what's happening on the monitors to be of much help anyway." Start by taking out the several rows of gauze within the kit and wipe as much blood as I can away from the wound on his side. It's even worse than I had figured from the start. The gash is deep and dark. I'm pretty sure it's infected too. It's going to need stitches, that's for sure. But I have no idea how to even start that. Besides, I don't see the tools right in the kit. I splash rubbing alcohol with the wound. He responds with a hoarse yelp of surprise. His eyes are locked onto me and he looks appreciative. He isn't scared. Be honest, Dennis says hopefully. How bad does it look? Think I'll live? You'll be fine, no problem. Choose comfort Dennis. Good to know, he says. I sure don't feel like that. Went through hell, I say. I think it feels worse than it actually looks. Thanks, that's relief. Won't lie, you're going to have a scar, I say, trying to be funny. Chills a bit. There's no humor in it. I rest his head against the wall and close his eyes as I finish up. Place one layer of gauze against the wound and bind up with medical tape. Then reinforce it with a second layer. I know it's meager, but it's all I can do. Thanks, Roger, says, actually managing to force out a smile. I feel a lot better. I think I'll be fine. I'm not so sure about that. I'm glad I was able to encourage him. I look back to Marcus and he's looking back at us, deep in thought. My eyes started to really swell up from where he kicked me earlier. Maybe I shouldn't have let him off so easy. Are these first aid kits all you have in this facility? I ask him. There's something better. I don't know about it, he says. I noticed then that his defensive posture is no longer there. Something is different now. Just a slight change over to his demeanor. He's seen something on these monitors that has him frightened more than he already was before. What is it? I ask. What's wrong? His eyes travel around the room. It's obvious that he's trying to decide whether or not to tell me the truth. I look at the monitors. Rather than wait for him, I get up and scan the screens behind him, seeing if I can find any clues I had missed moments ago. Within a few moments, I see a few things that even I can comprehend, and they accomplish their mission on most of the screens. On one screen, I see that what looks like a power meter that is slowly climbing upwards. A single message is flashing beneath it. reads unexpected power failure for an entity. And the message trickling down on the bottom of the black screen says safety locks on, level 3 containment doors engaged, override. See still scenes on a few other screens that I assume are security cameras showing hallways and patches from elsewhere in the facility. One of them shows the first level hallway we were on just a few minutes ago. The other shows a hallway I don't recognize. The floor is covered in blood. I'm just off the screen. I see what I think might be a human body. It's been in an impossible way. Looks like the body's legs and torso have somehow been merged or melted into the floor. Drawn the systems. This place has backups or backups, Mark says. It's not ever supposed to ever suffer a full electrical shutdown. What does foreign entity mean? I ask, hoping he has the same answer. I have no idea. It keeps coming off on. Whatever it is, it keeps entering and exiting, set off the sensors. The hell? I ask. There's something still happening? We're still in danger? Turns away, clearly fearing he has already said too much. And as bad as that is, there's a scene on another monitor that makes my blood go cold. My fear spiked to level somewhere near terror. The scene is very familiar. It's a logging site. Becoming as unmistakably mine. You even see my truck. Something like fury starts to rise up in my guts, momentarily pushing aside the fear. For a moment, I consider just tearing into him. A few punches and a shove against the wall, nothing more. I want answers, and I want them now. But I'm sure which would provide more answers, asking calmly or kicking his ass. Some comment. Could you please explain to me why you've been spying on my crew? My anger's prodding at me, and I have to hold it back again, sitting at the surface demanding a release. It's part of my job. Mine and a few others. The crew's been watchdog since you set up with your equipment. Why? Because you're working with heavy equipment, some of which digs into the ground, less than a mile from a secret government facility. I had no idea that, I say. How could I have known? Oh, excuse me, that's the same crooked, trembling smile that is beginning to creep me out. Because those things would draw attention to this place, he says. You have no idea how secret this facility is. Besides, I know that the higher-ups look into it. The site isn't on government land. It's shy by about 300 yards. Every piece of your equipment is on private property. The timber tract you purchased from Mercer less than 2 months ago. So even if we want to intervene and keep your crew away, we couldn't have it without starting up a fuss. I think that someone with such a low-level clearance knows as much about luck, crews, and nerving. If you've been watching us, why did you recognize us when we met in the hallway? I asked. He shakes his head and shakes his like it's obvious. The cameras have a bird's eye view. We can't see your faces, we just track bodies and names. That's calmly. So since you have all this surveillance, do you know where the rest of my crew is? I do my best to keep my voice level even though my impulse is to shout. Well, Marcus says, all of you were on site as usual before the incident. It had been a few hours since I had checked, though. They might have come near the facility or maybe not. I don't know. He says this casually like it's not important. Well, are they inside the facility? I asked. You have cameras everywhere, right? Do you see them? Marcus shakes his head. Been looking all over and I haven't seen your crew. They aren't here. But he adds, the lower levels don't have any cameras classified. I'm not sure how they would have gone there, but it's a possibility. I'm still shocked that we're being watched. Do they know everything about us? I'm telling you, Marcus said. The depth of performance in this facility goes deep. There are 36 employees down here. Outside of those employees, only 5 other people know this place exists. Ask calmly. What do all these people do here? I ask you, my voice level. He doesn't even pause to consider if he should go any further. He actually laughs when he gives me the answer. I honestly don't know everything, probably very little, but what I do know is that it is more than Black Ops. What does that mean? I ask. There are scientists here who have been disowned by their own governments because of the nature of their work. You get it now? I don't, not at all, but I don't want him to know about that. So there are 36 employees, I say. Where are they now? He shakes his head. As far as I know, everyone else is gone. Gone where? He points to the screen that still informs us of the unexpected power failure and cringes. If this power failure was not corrected in time, there's no telling. But they're here in the facility somewhere, right? I ask, hoping someone will be able to help Dennis better than I can. I just don't know, Marcus says. It could be anywhere. Look, I say, furious with the way he is talking to riddles. I don't. Oh, God, Dennis says. Look over to him and he looks as pale as a ghost. He stood up and his eyes were locked on the monitor closest to him. What? I ask. He simply points to the monitor and then looks away. I look at the monitor and I see the locking site. More specifically, I see the overturned dozer and Tony's crushed body 0 feet away from me, where I pulled him out. Tony. The fact of his death seems abstract, almost like it's happened in some other world or a very long time. I know that you already told me he was gone, Dennis whispers, but it's different actually seeing him. My God. Suddenly something places my the open door outside. The shape is vast in the shadow, but I'm pretty sure it's a person. Someone else is here, Marcus says, looking around. He sounds very happy he discovered this, so I try to follow his lead. Something bad happened at this facility, then surely the sight of another survivor is a good thing, right? Let's check it out, he says. I realize this isn't the best moment to leave Dennis after revisiting Tony's death all over again. Someone just ran out by the door, Tom. Hopefully it's someone who can help us. Gonna be okay? It's fine. Go see who it is, he says, giving me a mock thumbs up. Turn to Marcus in motion for us to head out to investigate. But let's be careful, Marcus says. Depending on who it is, they might not be as hesitant to shoot a stranger as I was. I heard him as I head for the door, holding the rifle in my hand, and I don't know if I have the guts to actually use it if needed. The final look back to Dennis, I run out into the second level hallway. Continue. Okay. Marcus follows. There's still fear in his eyes, but also the slightest glimmer of hope. That hope is contagious. We take off after the figure that just ran past the command center. Ahead of us, the city presents yet another long hallway. Right away, I noticed that this level of the facility seems darker, even though the lights are now all on. The hallway is adorned with numbered yellow doorways and large white panels along the walls. It's clean and well maintained, but there's something ominous about it. Up ahead, I see the fleeting motion of something dark cutting quickly to the left, down a corridor. There, I say quietly, pointing up ahead. Marcus gives a nod, and we continue chasing after the person we saw blazed by the command center just moments ago. It then occurs to me that this person could be like Marcus was at first, armed and scared. I'm sorry. We reached an intersection in the hall where it seemed a shadow moving and eased around the corner just in case. Sure, I have the rifle in my hands, but I don't want to use it unless I have to. Quickly dart around the corner and take the same shooting stance I've seen countless times on TV. There's a woman standing there, about 10 feet away. She has reddish blonde hair and a small, moist build. She looks verified and is visibly shaken. She's probably in her late 30s, wearing a lab coat with dark jeans and green Converse low tops. I have a strange sense that her fear is not just about her sudden appearance. She looks like a woman who's been running her skirt for a while now. Her hands are raised in surrender. She's not holding a weapon. I can slowly approach again a few steps ahead of me. It's Amy, right? He asks. She blinks, seemingly surprised that he knows her name. Yes, she says. And you're Mark? Marcus. He answers absently, and then looks into my rifle. I'm not going to use it. And how do I know that? She asks. You're trespassing government property in the midst of a huge equestrian event. And you have a rifle. How am I supposed to believe you? I have a friend back in the command center who needs medical attention, I say, and we're looking for the rest of our crew. I'm really sorry, but I don't know where they are, she says. Do you know what happened? Marcus asks, on the power outage? I don't know what caused it, she says, but there was an experiment taking place when the outage occurred. Something happened, and she trails off here, giving me a look of distress. See, I saw things on the security monitors, Marcus says. The experiment failed, didn't it? There are no other specifics, Amy says. I'm ready to skip a bit for. I was going to go to the command center to see if the security footage showed anything, then I saw you on the gun. Listening to the conversation, I'm feeling totally in the dark. Our experiments. She looks to me, her eyes wide and terrified. Who are you anyway? She asks. I quickly give her my story. A log appears stranded in the woods, while a peculiar explosion at the logging site. So tell her recognition blooms in her eyes. One of the loggers? Yes. She then looks to Marcus and says, I thought they were being watched. They were. It says this was a freak accident and there's no proof that they were responsible. I told myself only to submit to all the questions that were piling up in my head, but Dennis is waiting for me. I love Dennis. Decided to spare my curiosity and to get Dennis up as soon as humanly possible. Look, is there any medical help to be had here or not? I asked. Probably, Amy says. You'd have to find Colonel Barksdale. He knows where all of the sources of supplies are. And where is he? Where's everyone else? I asked. At this, Amy starts to weep. She falls to her knees as someone struck her from behind. Come on, she says. Some were killed and some were just, I don't know, they disappeared right in front of me. Disappeared. Yes, she answers. They were here one second and gone the next. Just she snaps her fingers together forever. Gone. Something's here with us, Amy says. We were connecting each moment and it all went horribly wrong. Something came through. Came through what? Marcus asks. I don't even know what that much. Entity, but whatever it is, it's still here somewhere. And Amy responds. You should not know. Don't you have full security exercise? No, I have access to almost everything, but there are 2 levels of security beyond my connections. So what do you suggest we do now? I ask. Not sure, she says, wiping her tears away. If you want to find her your crew, you need to find Barksdale. He's in charge. Where is he? I ask. Down on the 3rd floor in the hangar? I must go, I ask. It's not that easy, he says again, looking to it from my hands. Why not? Like I said, I'm thinking through when the power went out. There's several of them, all roaming at the 3rd level. All came through. All I know is that the others refer to them as entities. Any shudders as she recalls the words she has seen. I don't even know how to describe them. I didn't get a good look, she says. Well, I did run for my life. Behind me, I just heard screams. I know it's not very scientific of me, but I didn't feel like sticking around to learn more. She's right, Marcus says, stopping my train of thought. As I saw on the monitors, it was crazy. This is insane, I barked. I went to the 3rd level to find the Barksdale guy. That's your help. Wait, Marcus said, I'm sticking with you. If we want to get out of here, we have to find Barksdale, right? Yes, Amy says, but Barksdale's on the 3rd floor. It's too dangerous to go back there. Figured I'll let them make their own decisions. In the meantime, I started heading back to the command center to pick Dennis. Before I get there, I hear their footfalls behind me, getting closer. He gave Amy a questioning look, and she quickly looks away, clearly torn. Neither one of you know your way around here, she says, looking for Barksdale on your own would be suicide. Like it or not, she has a point. Fine, I say. And let's get Dennis from the command center and head down together. We enter the command center and I'm happy to see that Dennis has regained some of his color. We want to get you some help, I tell him. Then we're going to find our crew and get the hell out of here. More help would be great, he says. From the way you took an hour to get my shirt off earlier, I'm not letting you touch me again. Wait, Hannah says. Maybe one of you should stay here with him. I'll be okay, Dennis says. Senses feel the grunt. Don't know what's out there, he says. I saw them. I saw what they can do. This facility is not safe. What can they do? Never mind, she says. Come on. Just need to be careful. Marcus looks a little hesitant, but he nods to the screaming and the 4 of us exit the command center. Heading back out into the hallway, I look back into the monitors. Take a final look at the screen that shows me Rick locked inside and feel a pang of sorrow. Look to the other monitors showing live feeds of the facility's security cameras. I try to tell myself that I'm not looking for any sign of image creatures, but I can't. That's exactly what I'm doing. There's no need to pretend otherwise. We head back through the hall and towards the elevator. The tension exists between us. It's like a physical presence. Continue. Step inside the elevator and those pristine doors close. So the elevator, Amy seems to become much more guarded and distant from us. I want to assure her that I mean her no harm, but I'm also not going to put the rifle down. So you're pretty high clearance in this place, right? I ask her. That's right. So what kind of instrument are we talking about? What went wrong? When she starts to answer my question, I can tell that it's something of a relief for her to get some of it off of her chest. There's been a lot of work on a project taking place here over the last 3 years or so. The purpose is to find out if there's any real viable science behind point-to-point instantiation, like teleporting has. Oh my god, Marcus says, I had no idea. I knew there was some weird stuff here, but nothing this insane. She's not all that insane, Amy says. Found our first major breakthrough about 9 months ago. We were able to transport a live rat from its cage on level 3 to a small lab in New Mexico. Chip took the rat 5 seconds. Are you kidding me? Dennis says. Tell that he wants to sound as if he is mocking the idea, but he fails. He is scared. Not at all, Amy says. The problem was that when the rat arrived, its retinas were detached and its intestines were on the outside of its body. What does this have to do with us now? Well, about 6 months ago, Cecily made that same experiment. The rat arrived in great health, and this time in just 3 seconds. Still, one of the things that we needed to tweak in order to make the process completely safe was how to figure out how to keep the subject on a straight course. When the matter is being transported, not only are its atoms being unknit and then put back together upon arrival. Unknit? Yes, deconstructed and translated through space. It's the only way we know how to do this right now. The issue, as I said, comes from keeping the deconstruction subject on a straight course to its destination. When the process occurs, we are deforming space-time. We are creating a shortcut through space, and that has risk. Why exactly, Dennis asks? Because there are many more dimensions in space than the 3 we exist on. She explains there's some evidence that there are as many as 10. So when you send the rat 2 minutes ago, it's traveling through another dimension to get there, I ask. Basically, and because of that, we were trying to get a better understanding of what those other dimensions are capable of. Things that a great deal of the population would be scared of if they knew what we were doing, hence all of the privacy. Then today the power went out as we were right in the middle of our experiment. Something happened, but I don't know. She's speaking with the authority of someone who knows what she's talking about. Is that why those creatures are here? Have you seen these dimensions? Have you seen these dimensions? Other worlds, other tech-marked universes where laws of nature don't apply, she says, not bothering to explain what that means. I'm not cleared for such things, but I do get the reports, Marcus asks. You're nice to see the results of the test. In other words, Marcus replies, clearly upset. You guys have been peeking into other dimensions and taking notes on what you see. I can't believe I've wasted my life for this, he murmurs to himself. It looks like he's starting to freak out. Amy is quiet, her expression indicates that she's waiting to see how I react to all this. Incredible. You're impressed by Amy's work. So this is like interdimensional stuff, I ask. In a way, Amy answers. Marcus, on the other hand, isn't courteous. I don't want anything to do with this. He says, all this time I've been working for. He laughs cruelly, and the sound of it makes my blood feel cold for a moment. Just a single level beneath my feet, you asked us, I've been tearing apart space and time? Marcus continues. When the elevator doors open, I can't get out fast enough. The tension is growing way too thick for my liking. As the elevator we step out into what appears to be a massive industrial area. The carnage waiting for us is unlike anything I've seen in the upper levels. Continue. Wow. The area looks industrial, like everything was built for facility. But more noticeably than that is all the blood. God, I've never seen so much blood. The creatures must have had a field day. Holy shit, Marcus says, looking like a man that just woke from a very bad dream. There are more personnel in this area? I must remember when the headwire, Amy says. So the explanation makes it all better. The research you all do down here had better be worth it, I say. Let's get moving or we're going to lose our nerve. Amy, let's focus if Dr. Bell is in the hangar, I ask. Still alive, yes, that's real. Oh, sorry, I say. As far as I can tell, Dennis is doing much better than what I'm beginning to grow tired of trying to keep my fear at bay. Between the blood on the floor, the sun's at level 3, and Amy's talking the loud breath, so I'm getting freaked out. I'll go first again. 4 of us start walking ahead with me in the lead. We stop walking when we come to the remains of what looks like to be 3 different people. Decided to tell how many bodies there were, just like they have joined the shreds, or just to the bodies look as if they have been fused together. And they managed to have had his leg welded to the floor. See this man's face, he died in an abject state of horror, his mouth right open, trying to scream. Once I keep moving. Something too much. Worse than that is the fact that we have just started training to level 3. If they're worse waiting up ahead, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. And he steps up beside me and then he asks, his voice soft and flat. What the hell could that... Wait, what in the hell could do that to someone, he asks. The thing I saw, and he answers, do it pretty easily, I think. She looks pale and I think that she may pass out and tears spill from her eyes and she is visibly shaking. She soldiers on, looking back to me and stepping into the tail of the original carnage. Her eyes can go to my rifle and she doesn't look very helpful. Good to go? She asks me. We need to move on. For some reason, I can't take my eyes off the scene. Mine is really trying to press us all. Yeah, let's go. We hear the Grizzlies like behind, moving through another destroyed area. From what I can tell, the next room was once an open for experimentation. The place hasn't just been destroyed, has been completely altered in a way that makes no sense. Riders look to have been warped, their very materials distorted and twisted. To my right, a machine has been catapulted and looks to have somehow merged with the wall rather than crashing into it. Beyond this phenomena, there's the standard violence I was expecting to see. There's one farm sticking out from underneath the wreckage and more blood. I see no signs of explosion, which makes me wonder just how this happened. Seeing the aftermath is sickening enough, but it makes me wonder if Amy saw it while it was happening. Did you see what happened to those graders? When I got a glimpse of it, she says, it was like trying to focus your eye on something that wasn't too close. They just started twisting, but not creaking or breaking. It's like these creatures are able to keep our mouth. She pauses here, and that's when you hear something echo through the facility. It comes from behind us and slightly to the right. I'm not sure what it is, but it makes my blood feel like ice. It sounds almost like static from an AM radio, but there is a high-pitched noise beneath it that I can't even start to fathom. What the hell is that? I asked, instantly having my hands in my ears. One of them, Amy says. Her voice is a whisper on one of the creatures. That's what they sound like? Dennis asks. I see that he's leaning against the wall again, listening at the noise. I suddenly realized that I had a death grip on the rifle, ready to shoot at the next thing I see. Anything between us and them? Not really, she says. None of the hallways are blocked off by secret doors. Everyone should take this as the cue to start moving again. Make our way around the office wreckage now, with a new purpose in our step. We barely make it to the other side of the room, approaching a dark hallway when another high-pitched noise stands out. This one is louder, closer. We all share a terrified look and I can tell that Amy is on the verge of it. I grip the rifle tightly as we head towards the hallway in front of us. I'm further to the hangar. Close, she says. It's just at the end of this hallway. Dennis speaks up, his voice like ice. Why don't we just haul ass them, huh? No one says anything after that, but I can feel the presence of terror around us, pressing in on us like some new violent gravity. Continue. The small utility hallway is well lit. Looks as if it was designed to only be used by segmenting workers. What goes on in this area, I ask. Looking at Marcus' asked the question, but he only shrugs in response. She might know, replies pointing to him. I've never been down here before. It's just a utility hallway, he says, but at the end there is a maintenance room. There should be a gun or two in there. This is the most direct path to the hangar entrance. As we walk quickly and quietly down the hall, I turn my head and feel the hair on the back of my neck stand again. The light becomes more sparsely spaced and it's possible to see just how far the hall extends into the darkness. This hallway has the occasional trace of bloodshed, but nothing like the main area we come from. Continue further down, and just as I begin to see what looks like a large metal door further ahead, I hear yet another shrill sound. This one sounds farther away, but no less demonic. How many of these things did you see? Dennis asked me. 3. That's just what I saw. 2 more. What did they look like? Dennis asked. I already know. I don't know what else we can talk about. I don't know how to explain them, she says. Monsters, that's the only word I can think of. Mine seems to struggle just trying to understand what I'm saying. They're big and they seem to check around every few feet or so. They look like they're made of light. That's about all I know for sure. Now, my ex-husband always said I'd let my work kill me. She continues to be unable to stop herself. I mean, I doubt he imagined this exact scenario, but still. As we make our way to the hangar doors, another high-pitched noise rings out, angry now. Amy stops walking, causing all of us to stop and turn to her. We have to do something to slow those things down, she says. No, Marcus snaps. There's no time. We need to distance ourselves and get to the frying fast. Amy ignores him. Deep into the thought, there's no hydraulic door set into the wall right there. He says, it hasn't been used for years though. She looks to me, pleading her case. Together we might be able to pull it close behind us to keep those things back. So all that hydraulic doors weigh a ton, Marcus says. There's no way it'll work. Roger, Amy says. You think they'll have a harder time getting to us if these doors are locked? Look, Marcus shouts. Turn to me. You get to the hangar now. stop close the doors. So I try and close the doors. Damn it, Marcus says, we don't have time for this. Amy ignores him and starts fleeing along the hallway well for a groove. Dennis and I start looking as well. When it passes, then I see a small metal frame that runs from the floor at the ceiling. Is that it? I ask. Yes, Amy says. He looks to the floor and sees an old metal track that runs along the frame. Let's move it, I say. Dennis and I start pulling as hard as we can. This barely budges an inch. Behind us, this static noise swings out again. Rushes to start, Marcus starts out for a while. We're running out of time. We need to go, Marcus screams. Those things are getting closer every second. Help us. It won't make a difference, he says. We shut up and help us, and then we'll find out, I shout. Presently, Marcus walks over and presses the door. We all groan as just strained to pull. It starts inches slowly and then begins moving steadily. Once we get started, it slides easily. As we near the wall, closing out the hallway behind us, I think we can see them. The mirrors glimpse of the hole, out of a mid-shape in the darkness. It's cut out by the slight thump of the hydraulic door being pushed against the frame of the wall. Then we turn to lock into place. Great, now let's haul ass, says Marcus. We all turn and get moving again, still feeling unsure about our prospects. The fact that yet another shrill noise sounds out elsewhere in the facility is not common. And then there are two of them. It's almost like they are calling out to one another. The doors to the hangar stood up ahead like the entrance to some enormous labyrinth. When I reach the hangar doors, I get a true sense of how impenetrable they are. Pretty terminals mounted on the wall nearby and a blinking red light. Any idea what this means? I ask. It's an automatic lock fail-safe from the lockdown, says he. I've never been down here before, Marcus says. If I had known this door was here, I would have opened it. How? He asks. The fear in her voice is more present than like my center, he says. We need to override from there first, and use this terminal to open the hangar doors. My center on the second floor, I ask? Yeah. Amy shakes her head and lets out a nervous laugh. Are you kidding? She asks. Just pulled that hydraulic door and blocked out the hallway, remember? If we want to get into the hangar, we have to get back to the master center, Marcus says. Is there another way? Turn to Marcus and he replies, well, there's another elevator, but we'll need to go through biochem storage. You just stay with Dennis so he can rest and say, to go. You know your way around this place, and you know the controls, Marcus. Fine, Marcus says, but we need to be armed. Okay, Marcus. Give Marcus the gun, and Marcus the rifle, and he turns to go, and he gives me a concerned look and follows along behind. Once Amy and Marcus make it a good distance down the hallway, Dennis steps out. Oh, don't never laugh. And then there were two, he says. Dennis looks much better, but he still needs to use the wall to stay standing. Let me see that there were guns and emergency kits in the maintenance room near the hangar doors, I ask. Yeah, I think so, Dennis says, looking exhausted. Look ahead and see a door to the right that reads maintenance. Might as well give it a try. Go to the door, try to open it, and find that's locked. I give it a hard shout, but it doesn't budge. I'm about to try again, but that's when I hear the dry choking sound from just down the hallway. It's barely audible, but it is not my imagination. First thought is that it's one of the things, not one of the monsters. To calm me, my nerves and reassessing if I was more like a person. Think about how angry and on edge Amy was when she turned to leave, as well as how scared Marcus had looked. Alarm bells sound in my head, and before I know it, I'm heading back down the hall away from the hangar doors. Stay here. Right back. Whisper over my shoulder to Dennis. So you can figure out how to get into that maintenance room. Where are you going? He asks. I don't bother answering him as I bound through the door where Amy and Marcus went. Continue. As I enter the biochem room and start walking between the massive silos, I wonder what classified chemicals could be inside of them. I'm fully expecting one of Amy's creatures to come flying off the intersection of halls up ahead. Okay, I hear something, a skittering noise like something moving quickly. I run ahead so fast that I almost trip over two people in a life and death struggle. My mind tries to process what I'm seeing, but it makes no sense to them at all. Marcus is on the floor with Amy pinned beneath him. He has his rifle at her. throat, pushing her down to the floor and choking with it. Her face was turning purple and her eyes looked like they might pop out of her head. Marcus sees me coming out of the hallway, but acts as if it was doing this perfectly normal. Stop him. Start rushing towards him before I really know what I'm doing. I bring my fist down in a hard eye across the bridge to his nose, and then rewarded with a stick cracking sound. He cries out as he falls to the ground, looking at me as if he doesn't understand why I punched him. And with worrying, he clutches at her neck and grasps for breath. I start to fear that it was a moment too late, just as I see that the rifle has been thrown across the floor. Marcus used to notice this at the exact same moment that I did. Rifle. I both go for the rifle at once. He takes a single stumbling step towards it, wobbling a bit from my punch. I dive for it, and when I hit the floor, it feels like I'm a baseball player trying to steal third. My hands both fall on it, but when I yank it away, he manages to kick me, knocking the rifle to the floor again. Gay catching me scrolling my ribs, taking the breath out of me. What the hell are you doing? He yells at me. By killing her, I'm saving us. All of this was her fault. Since that he truly believes this, but if that's the case, then why not just shoot her rather than strangle her with a rifle? The answer is simply we would have heard the gunshot and or those things would have come running. Yeah. I wanted to kill her quietly. And then what? Would he have done the same to Dennis to me? It seems fitting, really. When we first came upon Marcus, he had a gun on us. I'd been so relieved to see another human being that I had underestimated just how unhinged he was. Marcus and I both died with the rifle still laying on the floor. Cyrus in position, but I'm not confident I'll come away with it. I struggle. He starts stretching the muzzle of the gun towards my face, a position I do not want to be in. I start pushing back hard. But if this thing accidentally fires, I'm not sure where I'd prefer the boat to go, especially in this room full of chemical tanks. Marcus. I grant to push the muzzle to point towards his face. Realizing he's literally looking down the barrel of the gun, Marcus dunks his head out of the way. This makes him lose leverage, allowing me to yank the gun from his grip. I get to my feet as quickly as I can, swinging the rifle back around on him. For a moment, I think I've knocked him out, but his eyes flutter and he looks at me as if I've betrayed him. Her people, he says. It was them that did this. She deserves to die. She did this. I look to Amy and wish I could help her. I'm ready to see that she is managing to draw in a few breaths. Her legs move as she tries to push herself into the sitting position. You don't know, Marcus says. You didn't work here under their secrecy. I don't know what it is, what it was like too. It surprises me, but launching towards me, leaping from the floor like a projectile. I don't have time to aim carefully. I have to react fast. Dodge. His aim is poor and his strength is failing, so I dodge him easily. I don't want to have a gunshot go off and alert those creatures to where we are. My guard jab at the butt of the rifle, striking him in his chest. Something crunches and he lets out a whoosh of air. He crumbles for a moment, then goes to his knees. He roars and pains on the floor. Only after a few moments I realize that they are not purely screams of pain. Cash is calling for them, calling for those creatures to come for us. This place is evil. Along with everyone involved, he was on the floor. If you're taking your side, then you deserve to die too. You don't stop me. I'm ready to do it now, coward. Raising his eyes to Amy as well as towards me for stopping me makes me think that he'll deliver on his threat. I raise the rifle again. Every urge in my body wanted to make sure he doesn't come back to bite us. But I'm not a violent man. At least not kill him and just leave him behind. I'm like a slave. Say that let Marcus live. It's like when I could barely shoot earlier as he was coming in, preparing myself to deliver a close shot. Aguinaldo leaned down to Amy. You okay, ass? She nods slowly. I have to go, she says, voice raspy. I'll be here any minute. Too much noise. I told her arms and get to her feet. We start forward, and then I think of Dennis. We should go back to the hangar doors, I say. Can't you see Dennis there? There's no time, he says. You need to come with me up to the command center. Now. Back for him soon. They're all dead now anyway, Marcus shrieks. If they don't get you, I will. That's my name, manically. Saying this to him like a madman. As if in response, a high-pitched noise tears through the hall, racing to feel in my bones. They're following his noise now, he says, her voice still weak. She takes off away from Marcus, turns swiftly towards the other elevator she had mentioned moments ago. I follow her. As we move out, I hear Marcus slowly push himself off the ground and stumble off, slipping in between the tanks and disappearing. I start running, and after the first few strides, nothing noise stands out. Sounds mechanical, but at the same time, it also reminds me of recordings I've heard of well signs. sound of metallic creaking crashing me close to the door I came into. It reached the hydraulic door with bolt, says confirming what I'm thinking. The sound grows louder and it's clear they're struggling with it, which is good, we have a bit more time. Street on my step to follow Amy as she leads the way to the other elevator. She's panting fiercely but pushes on. I can hear something rattling in her breath, likely the result of Marcus's attack. This makes me imagine how his cold and killing eyes must have looked, staring down at her as she tried to deliver her to death. But she is still forging on beyond me. Sorry about Marcus, I say. Hi. It's not your fault. She shrugs. You handed him the gun. You didn't know you would use it on me. Let's hope we can find a way to resolve this mess. We'll be fine. Don't worry. I'm not sure, she says, her eyes fixed straight ahead. I'm not sure I can blame her. Her head just wanted to say something encouraging, I guess. I only come to the elevator at the end of the row of silos. The elevator doors slide open slowly. At that moment, we hear something behind us, a strangled sort of whistling sound. We step inside the turnaround to face the biochem room. Thankfully, we've been given a few moments to spare. The elevator doors remain open for 3 seconds before they start to slide open, closed again. Those 3 seconds to see a large shape of floating towards us, a phosphorescent like white glow outlines an impossible shape. Behind it, I see another shape that's almost into the biochem room. The third one breaks away from the other two, taking a quick right and moves with eager speed. There's the direction Marcus had gone. Honestly, the thought of them hunting him down doesn't bother me in the slightest. Amy is pressing the buttons to close the elevator doors over and over, but they stay open for what seems like an eternity. Here's whoever designed these damn doors. Stand door ready to shoot. Can't go anywhere, I figure, so no use in hiding. Take a step instead. Stand firm in the elevator doorway. Hold the rifle steady, ready to fire, and that's when I see them in broad light for the first time. I can see their features, their shape, and their colors, but my mind just can't quite process it all. Nothing about them makes any sense. My eyes try to see a squid, but that's not what these things are. They are gray and white and seem to be nothing more than a scrum of light. Their appendages are neither legs nor tentacles, but somewhere in between. They don't walk on these appendages, but use them to glide. They move like ghosts and seem to jerk every few feet or so. But I'm pretty sure that this jerking effect is not a result of their moving, but my mind's inability to understand how they are moving exactly. Also, more than their appearance that makes a mockery of reality. The light around them ceased to bend and move, as if the space within the room has to reshape itself for their existence. That peculiar effect on the air makes their movement seem like something moving or the water, only faster. They screech in unison as they rush towards the elevator. They'll be inside here in another few seconds. Check the rifle and see what that my ammo is diminishing. I start saving my shots and I just have to be choosy. I haven't shot a single thing. Shoot. Decided to shoot the creatures. Now about a foot remains between the inside doors. I found my Mr. Reaction instantly and pull the trigger. The shot feels over it and there's some thunder in my ears. I get to thinking the center and the reaction is not what I expect. The monster pauses, as fast for about 2 seconds. Its body of light flickers for a moment, similar to a light bulb on the brink of burning out. My fingers pulling the trigger, the throw with the rifle, and my hands are comforting each screech when the creature is like music. Then I realize that this only seems to be slowing it down. Its tentacles seem to be tightened and then loosened, the weird muscle reflex, and it's on the move again, unharmed by the shots. Finally, the elevator doors closes. The creatures wash against the other side of the door, making its electrical noise, crying out in anger. Tips of their spider-like appendages poke through the wall on the elevator door. For some reason, they can't get all the way through. He screams at this and curls into a ball in the far corner of the elevator, crying. Seeing nothing to her, I just cling to the rifle, hoping those creatures don't find any safe place by the iron doors where I left them. For his sake and ours, we could get them open now. End of chapter 3. One truth, even 59% of players told Dynasty would probably be fine. Scrolling down, even 35% of players sided with Amy and pulling the hydraulic door due to trust. 31% of players give the gun to Marcus. Murder of Mercy. 58% of players left Marcus alive an hour later. 32% of players used your ammo to finish your shots at the creatures. It's the first time I shot. Became chapter 4. Chapter